during my Metals 101 class up at Penn State, I had raised my hand and asked the professor, when are we going to get to the Judas Priest and Black Sabbath?
Take one, Bobby Z.
Good afternoon.
Hiya.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? What's your name?
My name is Bob Zalanis, and I am one of the guitar players in Waiting for Ray. I grew up a little bit east of Pittsburgh in a small town called Turtle Creek, and have since moved to Moon Township 25 years ago. I have my beautiful wife Jen at home, and got two great kids, Matt and Rachel.
Tell us a little bit about what you do in the full band Waiting for Ray versus the role you play in Acoustic with an Attitude.
For the full band, I am one of the founding members, along with Scotty and Ray, and put the band together back in 2008. Went to a Poison concert, and Scott come up to me and said, "Hey, you play guitar, don't you? Let's put a band together. We got Ray. Ray wants to play, and then original members Krista and Jeff were there as well, and put the band together. Started practicing in the fall 2008. I was one of the guitar players in the band. Started off all over the map. We were playing some songs metal, some rock, and then honed in on the 90s rock side, which is fun.
Very cool. So 17 years is a long time to be in the same band. I'm sure there's been some evolution, most notably marked by the acoustic version that you now call Acoustic with an Attitude. And what is your role in that band?
So I am one of the acoustic guitar players in that. I'm also the roadie. So I hump the gear in and out, and I'm in charge of lighting and illumination. So, yeah. So all the little lights you see around the stage.
They look really great, Bob.
And thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah. Yeah, it's a blessing to be rocking out with you guys. I enjoy it so much. It's a big part of my life, and thank you to my family that support me with that too. My kids have heard the same songs over and over and over and over and over. So they're
patience and all of her kindness and band management.
Cheers, Jen.
Cheers to Jen. So tell us a little bit about the instruments that you play then.
So for the electric band, I have about a half dozen guitars that I use for that, and rotate them in and out. It's always good to have backups. One of the things Scotty taught me. So, but my standard tuned guitars, I have three of them. One is a Jackson custom shop DK, which I love. That's my electric baby. I have a Ibanez Prestige RG, which is a beautiful instrument and probably one of my first high-end instruments that I've owned. And also a ESP Eclipse, the Charvel SoCal, and a Fender Stratocaster, which Scott rebuilt for me. And then I go through a Line 6 Bogner combo amp. And then for the acoustic with an attitude, I got my Martin SC28 there. That's a beautiful instrument. From an acoustic side, that's my favorite. I also own two Ibanez acoustic guitars as well.
So how long have you been playing music? What got you into it?
I started playing when I was about 15 years old. And my first concert right before that, and got to see Gary Moore play live. That was the first live big name act that I've ever seen. And just blew me away. And I'm like, that's what I want to do. That is just, it was awesome. It was a great performance. He was a great guitarist. That got me into it, and some of my local friends got me into it too. My friend Beanie and Larry Hanley, that I grew up with in Turtle Creek, they had guitars laying around, so that's really where I first learned how to play like Smoke on the Water and Iron Man.
What a classic. Tell us about some of your biggest musical influences, Bob.
My parents they weren't musical, however, we always had music on in the house. We had, my dad would be listening to the Rolling Stones and the Allman Brothers and the Who and all that classic stuff that come out in the 70s. And of course, Mom would have, she was more into what's called yacht rock nowadays. Listen to like Kenny Loggins and the Doobie Brothers and so on. Another big influence on me was my guitar teacher, Sam Rydell. He was a great musical influence on me. He was patient, and he would guide me in the, as far as influences on music, what to listen to. He turned me on to jazz. He could play anything. He'd help me with some of the songs, and all the scales that I had to learn, musical theory, so on. He just was a really great guy. And shameless plug, go see him, and he usually plays down at an Irish bar in the Strip District every first Friday of the month. So go see Sam.
So who would you say then are some of your favorite top bands?
The Who, the Beatles, the Rolling Stones, Simon and Garfunkel. I'm a product of the '80s, so of course I love my hair metal and hard rock. So Black Sabbath, Ozzy Osbourne, especially when Randy Rhoads was in the band, he was a big influence. Iron Maiden, Judas Priest, and all of those classic rocking bands. They were great.
So with the band Waiting for Ray, is there any particular song that you just really love to play the most?
The electric band, Give It Away, is I just think a banger. That's such a fun song. Scott does great on it from a vocal standpoint, and Ray with the bass guitars over the top, and I just get to jam my ass off on it. So.
And all the electric stuff on that too. That's actually a great song.
Yeah, so that I like Rage Against the Machine. That's a fun one. That's just the closers at the end of the night are just so much fun to do. From the Acoustic with an Attitude, doing Jeremy or the new Breaking Benjamin song that we do, both of those songs are just packed full of energy, and Scott's arrangement on them are spot on. So it's good time, and your vocals are killer. So that adds to it all.
Is there any particular song that you wish that we would cover someday?
There was a Coldplay song that I liked that I thought would go over very well with us. There's a New Rascal song that I think would be good too. Got the Music in You, I think it's called.
Ooh,
I think those two would be fun to do.
it's a fun song.
Yeah. Yeah.
Your clicker's not working?
Scott's clicker's not working.
My clicker works just fine.
Scott's clicker is not working.
Give us kind of a feel of what your on-stage vibe is like.
Usually I'm concentrating on the music so much that I try and look up and smile. My wife always yells at me. She says, "Smile a little bit. You look like you're all pissed off up there." I'm really not. I'm really trying to keep the time and concentrate on what I'm trying to play without making too many mistakes. That's but it's also somewhat lighthearted. It's not all business, but it's just fun. It's fun playing with these guys and looking over at Scott while I'm playing, and Scott's like, "Slow down," or Sarah's behind me, "Slow down," then trying to tear through a song. And but no, I appreciate their help and coaching, and that's great. So
does that contrast with your off stage vibe?
Not really. I would say no.
So what's a fun fact that most people might not know about you?
By college, I'm the metallurgical engineer. I don't know if anybody knows that. Metallurgy, of course, is the physics of making metals, designing metals, which during my Metals 101 class up at Penn State, I had raised my hand and asked the professor, when are we going to get to the Judas Priest and Black Sabbath? which he stopped, stared at me for 2 seconds, and then just moved on and started talking about grain boundaries and stuff like that again.
That was lost on him.
So yeah, and had a great career. Did that for about 25 years. So,
Well, now you are.
and now I'm recently retired. So I get to do this kind of stuff all day now, and I'm blessed for that. So
Hidden talents. Do you have one?
hidden talents. Yeah, some I won't share on this because I really don't want them known. But
It's fair. Always leave them guessing.
yeah, I'm quite good at annoying Jennifer. But seriously, when not doing this kind of stuff, I used to be really into brewing beer. So I used to make beer all the time prior to the band more so. But now that I'm retired and have a little bit more free time, I may get back into that. So
Do you have any kind of particular beer that you prefer to make over the others?
darker beers are easier because you don't have to worry about clarity. But I like a good IPA. If you know, I like a good hoppy beer. So that's my go-to.
That's also your end of the
Yeah.
night drink
Yeah.
after every show.
Yep.
Never fails. Bob shows up with 3 of the best IPAs the place has to offer.
Yeah.
While we're tearing down.
That's the
we all
reward.
appreciate that as well.
That's the reward at the end of the show.
Tell us about what you were like in high school.
I was about as average a kid as you get. Super skinny at the time. I had a big mullet, which is funny. Always had a concert T-shirt on, and again, music influenced my time back then as well.
And what was the first concert you ever attended?
So my first concert was Def Leppard on their Power Mania tour. So that was 1983, and Crocus and Gary Moore opened up, and then followed up by that a couple months later. Got to go see Iron Maiden on their Peace of Mind tour, and Fastway, and who else? Coney Hatch opened up for that, which was a fantastic show. Hi, I'm Bob Zalanis on CBS Evening News.
Give us some news.
In local news.
In local news, Waiting for Ray is bringing one kick-ass rock show to you.
Is there a concert that you wish you could have seen?
Oh, yeah. Unfortunately, Randy Rhoads died before, I was into the concert scene, and what a huge influence he was on most guitar players that I know anyway. I would have loved to have seen him perform live. That would be one of the concerts. I also would have liked to see the original Van Halen back in the day with Dave when they were back in their heyday. I would have thought that would have been a blast to see. So,
what about movies? Movies, TV shows?
Oh,
What's your
boy.
favorite?
Well, being 10 years old in 1977, when Star Wars come out, that was just blew my mind. I really like that movie, and just the soundtrack of it, the newness of it was almost overwhelming. Some of the other movies I like from comedy, Step Brothers. I love Step Brothers. I think that's just a brilliant piece of comedy from those two. And although horror's not my favorite genre, I really like The Shining. The Shining I thought was, it's just makes your skin crawl. From TV, I like Seinfeld. Seinfeld's just, I think it's timeless. It's really held up over the ages, and some of the more modern shows, I like Letterkenny. Tires is a great show that's on, I think that's on Netflix, that one.
What about food? Favorite food? If you were to eat one food for the rest of your life, what would it be?
One food for the rest of my life, pizza, for sure. Yeah. So, Jen and I typically Friday nights, we make our own pizza at home. So she makes the dough in the bread machine and roll it out. And
like truly
cheese.
homemade.
Yeah. So it's really good. Yeah.
Right. I see you're drinking a beer there at the moment. Well, what would you say is your favorite cocktail of choice?
A good IPA. Yeah. But any beer is good. My favorite beer is Free and Free Light. But other than that, I do like tequila. Got a taste for that down in Mexico, and when we happened to go on vacation there a few years ago. So I like it.
We talked a little bit earlier about how you ended up joining the band Waiting for Ray. Do you happen to have any kind of favorite memory or inside joke, any moment that stands out?
Oh, wow. There's so many. during unloading and during some practices, especially in the early days, Ray and I started to do this thing called a beer snake at the end of the night, where everybody be packing up and okay, it's time to leave, and then Ray and I would open a new one just to keep the party going a little longer. I always look at Ray and he'd look at me and we'd be like, "Yeah, it's beer snake." So that was fun.
It still extends the parties.
Extends the parties today.
Do you have any kind of rituals, any pre-show rituals that you do?
Show days, that's usually time to go over the equipment, change batteries out, make sure the screws are tight on the strap locks, and the neck's good, the guitar's playing good, polish it, clean the instrument. Then I'll run through the set list and just try and get a mental image of how the set flows, and just play a couple riffs from each song. Maybe, a special part that is may stand out that you want to work on. A quick dinner and out the door.
After 17 years with the same band, that's a lot of shows.
Yeah.
Is there any particular time of madness or craziness that you've seen happen at a show that sticks out to you over the rest?
Oh man, the old shows at the Rochester Inn were fun. Back when one of our first shows we played was at this bar in Bethel, called the what was that? The Warehouse Cafe. The Warehouse Cafe. We had a really good turnout for that show, and boy, I wish that place would have stayed open. My sister's friend Emily, who we endearingly call Public Emily.
We know her well.
Public Emily threw her bra up on stage and wrote all over the bra with magic markers, and Waiting for Ray rocks, stick figures with electric guitars and such. And I got that. That is still in my case. I still have it. I do indeed. That night I hung it from my guitar headstock and rocked out.
What do you love most about performing with Waiting for Ray?
Bringing smiles to people's faces. You don't know what some folks are going through. It's a chance for them to listen to some good music and forget the day's troubles. Some of the joy it brings to some folks is so rewarding. It really is. You see, the smile on a little kid's face, like our friend Cam that comes to our shows. It's so cool to see him just enjoy that music and get involved. So that's my favorite part, is just seeing the reaction from the crowd. We feed on that.
All right, we're going to switch over to gear.
Nice.
What's your main gear setup? We talked about your instruments. You referenced your pedal board back here. Do you want to say anything about that?
Yeah. So for acoustic shows, I go into a Line 6 wireless system, so that gives me the freedom to follow Sarah around on the floor when she's singing Four Non Blondes. So, and then into a Fender Smolder overdrive. From there into a MXR stereo chorus, and then into my Boss 8020 preamp.
Would you say that's the piece of gear you can't live without?
Oh no, it's definitely that Martin. There's one piece of gear that I wish I had never sold. So I used to have a KK Downing Hammer Flying V. At the time, I'd spent $1,000 for it, which was a lot of money from 1984, right? And it was a beautiful guitar. And I sold it for about $800. And boy, I wish I wouldn't have done that, because now there's $16,000 to buy, which is
$16,000. Acoustic with an attitude. If you had to describe it in 3 words, what would you say?
Energetic, melodic, and powerful.
What about the full band, Waiting for Ray?
Oh, just madhouse, frenzied rock shit.
Great words. Wonderful words. Okay. If you could give your bandmates superpowers, what would they be?
Seeing as how I just saw the Fantastic Four movie with Rach over the holidays, I would say Scotty'd be like our he's our Professor Reed. He's the stretchy guy with like the super genius, and I would say Sarah's like the invisible woman with like shield powers and the sonic boom of singing. You know, Ray would be a Flash or somebody that's like a super fast. Just because he's, you know, way into biking and physical fitness and shit. So
Absolutely.
and then Keith, like the Human Torch, just freaking flying around,
Nice.
burning up the drum set.
Very nice.
Me, I would be like the Hulk. I think I'd like
No.
super strength,
I think that's what you want.
just to carry the subs up those steps, and you know.
I think that fits you.
I like that. Which bandmate is most likely to survive the zombie apocalypse?
Ooh,
Come on, mate.
thank
Go
you.
ahead.
Yeah,
Yes.
a zombie apocalypse survivor. That's got to be Ray. He'd be on his bike and out of here. He would be gone.
I think that's fair. That's a fair assessment.
That's pretty good. I think that's
Okay,
accurate.
which bandmate is most likely to accidentally start the zombie apocalypse?
That would also be Ray. I could just see him that. Like, is there.
Bob, it's been wonderful interviewing you today. Is there anything else that you'd like to add?
No, just thanks for coming out and seeing us, and cheers, and we'll see you in 26.
That's right. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.